Hi guys, this is going to be my Expo flooring tutorial, also bits and pieces of my life and kind of how it is with kids, because this video is going to cut off and edit and skip around a bunch, and I'm sorry about that, but I didn't film it all at once, and I'm new to editing on iMovie, so this might be a little bit jumbled up. If you're wanting just a tutorial on how to lay a floor for an expo, you're not going to get that with this video. It's going to show me, my kids, and kind of the process and in between and goofiness. So be patient with me, I guess, while I'm learning to edit a little bit better and how to sequence my videos. This has been a long editing process. Okay, first of all, you're going to need to know what dimensions your floor is going to be that you need. My vendor booth is 10 by 10, so I know I need 100 square feet. So you're going to take your length times your width of whatever your measurements are, and that's going to be the amount of square footage that you need for your flooring. I bought laminate flooring from Lumber Liquidators at like 39 cents a square foot. I got the cheapy stuff. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on this floor. For my booth, it's only going to be used for like 8 hours once a year probably, or twice a year depending on the expos that I go to. I purchased in boxes. You're not going to get 100 square feet exactly. You're going to have to purchase a little bit more than what... Ooh, I almost dropped it. You're going to need your block, your rubber mallet, measuring tape, a T-square, or I use this clear ruler because it can show my lines, and then something to write on the flooring. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't lay floors for a living. I have done a couple laminate floors before, and I didn't think that this would be that hard to do. Things to note, it does slide a lot. The floor will slide because, you know, for me anyway, I don't have it right up against a wall to hold it in place. So I had to cut some of my boards, like it doesn't show it on this one, but I had to cut the edge off of some of my boards, which I'll show you in the video. I had to cut it off with scissors so that I don't have to, when I get to the expo, I don't want to have to be trying to slam and pound the boards into place really hard. I want to get it snapped in together and done. So I kind of learned that through this process. And then I'm going to try to speed up some of the video, and that way you can kind of see how the whole thing was done. Get the gooey residue to your floor. So we're going to measure 10 foot. Okay, let me see where I'm at here, 9, 10. Okay, Grace, go ahead and line it up with this back line so that we can get it straight. So we're just taping the spots. Use your flat edge of the tape.
Oh, yeah. I thought I find it for a second.
That way we can line up exactly where 10 feet is with our tape. So then we're going to take this and go the other way. Okay, to show you what I've done, I have followed the line from my hardwood floor and laid what will be the back, like the back side of my booth, to where people will be walking into it. They'd be walking this way. Now I marked off where the 10 foot was with painter's tape, and then I had to go 10 feet down, and I kind of made a little square there. I'm taping off to show where I have to cut my boards at. Also, you can take into consideration that you're going to have a reducer here. Like if you imagine the flooring already here, and there'd be an edge there that people could trip on, you want to get something called a reducer, which is kind of like molding on your wall basically, where it has a little rise up, so it kind of slims down. You can count that into consideration into your square footage of where you need to cut things. For me, I'm going to just count a 10-foot square. So I'm going to go ahead and tape off right here. Lining up right here. Oh no, whoops.
It's the only bad thing about painter's tape.
Yeah, it's not super sticky, is it?
Nope.
Okay. Uh-oh, I'm running out of tape. So you're gonna wanna get it all the way to the spot to line up on this side. Oh, I'm sticking. So you don't want it to stick yet until you can get it down to your line. Oh, I have it on the outside. Okay, re-stick. So I need it on the outside line of my tape here. There. Okay, so I've taped off the rest of the square that we're gonna be doing, see? And this side, okay? So what you have to then decide is which way you're going to have your boards facing on the floor. Do you want them like lengthwise or widthwise? For me, I'm gonna go the width of the booth because I think when I use my reducer, it's gonna look nicer that essentially the boards are going like this instead of towards us. I'm not gonna be cutting today. It's Tuesday before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
Holy crap, it's Christmas Eve!
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Tomorrow.
Yeah! Christmas time. Christmas time. Ooh, ooh, Christmas time! Christmas time.
Let's get some peanut brittle.
Oh, peanut brittle. We made some homemade peanut brittle. Peanut brittle break. Because it's Christmas Eve. I'm going to show you the floor, and I did kind of adjust this to make it easier to put together than taking a long time. Because when you're doing this by yourself, when you go to snap the pieces together for the seams, you have to hit them with your block, and then the end piece shifts out. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Now these two pieces, well, this flips up and goes together. You know, hopefully I can just show it to you. Let me try to put this back on the stand. I've recorded this a few times, this process, so I'm hoping that this actually will make a little bit more sense and won't go as long as my other videoing. Come on, lock in there. Oh gosh, that light. Okay, so in order to get the two pieces together, for the flooring to go together, I have so many pieces out here. You will start the first board on the back, and you'll snap them together, and then you'll measure and cut off what you don't need out of your square. But to do this, you kind of lift it up, set it down, try to make sure your seams are kind of matching up here, which mine are not right now. There we go. And then you just tap it into place and it'll kind of lay flat. So we've been having a problem, or I've been having a problem here with the seams. Because this board is kind of lifted, not every board lays perfectly flat. So when you go to slide them in and hit this board into this board, it's catching on the edge that's normally here. So what I've done, let me pop this board off and I'll show you. Because this isn't a permanent floor, it doesn't have to be perfection. You know, it's just going to last for your expos or your vendor booths. I've been cutting off this edge where the next board meets, and the edge looks like this, okay, this little piece. So I'm going to cut that off, if I can show you guys. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could probably use a saw to do this, but I find it easier than having to run out multiple times to use the table saw in my garage. Plus, even though the grass is green and it's nice looking outside, it's still a bit chilly and I don't want to be out there. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to snap this in and then tap the board. It is a little bit more difficult to do when you only have one person, so we're going to see how this goes. My neighbor girl came over to help me, which I'll show some video of that later on. The whole thing just shifts around, you know, there's nothing to hold it into place like there would normally be for putting together a laminate floor. So I just popped that up. There we go. There's a little piece in there that's being stupid. Okay, now I think I could probably get it. So you see how that seam came together fairly well. And then along this edge, it didn't, come butting out because of me tapping it. And your edges aren't going to be exactly perfect. Mine are kind of slightly uneven. And that's okay, because nobody's really going to be paying attention exactly to the edges of your boards. And some of you will have walls up to where you won't even be able to tell. Mine won't exactly have edges, so I wanted it to be pretty close to even. And I might do some sort of edging on it. But that's essentially how you put them together. So you have an end with one of your tapping blocks, and you just tap it into place so that your seam gets met. Then you'll come over and you'll measure out where to cut off, or how much to cut off on your ends. And then you'll go and cut that in. So here is the floor all put together, minus the reducer that I have to get along the edge here. That is still on order. I slid it back from the tape line some because I'm going to start marking so that I know when I lay the floor down at the expo what pieces go where. So that's what I'm going to start doing, and then you'll kind of see how to break the floor up as well. So you kind of just lift it, pull away, and then lift it again. So this is going to be number 1. I'm just going to write number 1. I should probably use a bigger Sharpie in order to do this, but this is where I'm at for now. This is what I got to work with. Number 2. So you're just labeling them in the order of which they're going to get laid down. So I should probably flip these over and make it easier on myself instead of having to filter through. So that was number 1, and this is number 2. Then you're going to have these like little pieces like this that aren't going to be as easy as the bigger pieces to put in order. So I'm just going to set them to the side for now and continue pulling my flooring apart. And that's it.